Hello, all you pro wrestling marks and proud, and welcome to Calling Spots with Bryan Kelly. That's me, Bryan Kelly, and we had an amazing episode of Ring of Honor this week that we're going to recap over. Ring of Honor came to us from Nashville, Tennessee. They're still doing TV tapings all over the place, but the last 2 weeks have been in Nashville. This is Ring of Honor episode 334. Is how they label them, so that's how I'm going to let you guys know. For February the 12th, 2018, I watched this on the Fight app, on my computer, or on my iPod. Who has an iPod anymore? On my iPad. You can get it there. Fight is spelled F-I-T-E, or you can find it with your local listing, but man, it's tough to find on cable channels and things like that because it just goes from region to region. Who knows? So we started with a cold open with Dalton Castle backstage with the boys behind him, but it's really funny because he goes, "I'm always ready." He goes, "Nothing surprises me." He goes, "I look to my left," and he sees the boy there. He goes, "I know what's coming." And he goes, "I look to my right," and he gets surprised. And he goes, has he been here the entire time? Okay. Almost nothing surprises me. Great stuff from Dalton Castle. I love Dalton Castle. I see him in the WWE within a year to 16 months tops. He is amazing. He's a great character. I think he's going to do a lot of really, really good stuff. So Dalton does a promo for tonight saying, "Punishment Martinez jumped me from behind." I knew that once I won this title that it was going to be a target on my back for anybody who wanted it. And so I wasn't surprised when you jumped me. I would have done the same thing. But tonight, I'm going to take you down, blah, blah, blah. Wrestler stuff. The belt looks amazing. You get a really good shot. He holds the belt up as he's doing the promo, and you get a really great shot of the belt. And man, it looks amazing. I still contend that the WWE United Kingdom Championship belt is probably the greatest looking belt in wrestling, personally. I just think it looks absolutely stunning. But that Ring of Honor belt is a close second, man. That belt looks absolutely amazing. So then we get the Open, which they still need to update. The music anyways. They update the pictures, but the music is, oh man, every time it's cringy. Commentator team is Colt Cabana and Ian Riccaboni as usual. Ian's fantastic. I think that guy's one of the best commentators in the business, right up there with Corey and Morrow. He's really great at his job. And then there's Colt Cabana. So Beer City Bruiser, Bryan Milonis, and Silas Young come out. They have a new entrance, Beer City Brewing. It's really cool. And these are some big hosses, man. Bryan Milonis is a monster. The first time I saw Beer City Bruiser, I was like, Jesus Christ, that's one of the biggest dudes I've ever seen. Weight-wise, that's what he is. He's a big dude. And Bryan Milonis makes Beer City Bruiser look svelte. I mean, wow. This guy is very, very big. And for as big as he is, moves around very, very well. He has a kingpin. They call him the Kingpin because that's kind of what he looks like, is Kingpin. But I think if they're going to go with that, he needs some new gear. These big guys in Ring of Honor, they do it with Shane Taylor too, or they did. I can't remember if Shane's wearing a onesie now or not, or like wrestling tights. I think he is. But when Shane was first out with his tag team partner, who I can't remember who that was, they gave him those fat guy big pants, to like cover up, his thighs and everything. And they're doing the same thing to Bryan. And I think he just needs some new gear and he'd be good. Man, that's a big dude. Those are some big, big boys. So they come out with Silas Young, and then Coast to Coast comes out because I guess Coast to Coast, and I can't get these guys' names because they don't put their names on the. I guess I could look them up. Anyways, Coast to Coast comes out, and we're going to get Beer City Bruiser and Bryan Malonis versus Coast to Coast with Todd Sinclair as your referee. It's kind of a squash match to start. Beer City and Bryan kind of, show, hey, look how big we are, and take their lumps. But then things kind of spill to the outside, and that's when Coast to Coast starts to do some really high spots and some, flips off the ropes and taking guys out and stuff. It was really good. At one point, everybody's on the outs, or they call him, I can't remember what they call him, but the white guy from Coast to Coast, I can't remember his name, goes, let me look up these guys' names real quick while I'm sitting here. I mean, it is a podcast, a video podcast, and I'm sure I've seen other guys do this. So let me look up these guys' names, because Ian Riccaboni said their names, and I couldn't understand what he said. Coast to Coast, ROH. Okay, let's see. Because they have a little storyline coming up a little later with the Dogs. Shaheem Ali and LSG. Okay. So Shaheem Ali is the guy who's on the outside at this point, and LSG is in the ring. And Silas gets involved and starts beating the crap out of Shaheem. And that causes Kenny King to come out of fucking nowhere and attack Silas Young. So now everybody's brawling. We have Kenny King and Silas brawling, and what's his name again? I'm sorry. I am a bad wrestling fan. Shaheem Ali and LSG fighting on the inside with Beer City and Bryan Malonis. And we'll be right back. They go to commercial. We come back from a commercial, and suddenly it's a 6-man tag match, 3-on-3, which is cool. There were some really good spots. Silas is awesome. He's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. I think he's great. His character work is phenomenal. His in-ring work is phenomenal. He does things you go, whoa, I didn't expect that. And that's one of the coolest things about wrestling and wrestlers. But really good match. Royal Flush to Kenny King, and Silas gets the win. I'm sorry. I said that backwards. Royal Flush to Silas. Kenny King gets the win over Beer City Bruiser and Bryan Malonis, Coast to Coast, and Kenny King picks up that win. Sorry that little match review there was kind of stunted. I'll do better. Then we get a Dogs backstage promo where they say, why do people even like Coast to Coast? Listen to them out there cheering for them. Why do they like these guys? Time to send them packing, and next week we're going to do that. So I guess next week we're going to get Coast to Coast versus the Dogs. And this is 2 weeks in a row. Coast to Coast beat War Machine, of course, a week ago. And this week they've beaten Bryan Malonis, Silas Young, and Beer City Bruiser. It was the three-way, and they needed Kenny King to help them out. But so next week they're going to take on the Dogs, and I think they're going to beat them too. They're kind of pushing these guys they need some good tag teams in that division. They have great tag teams in that division, but losing War Machine and the Bucks coming and going to New Japan a lot, they don't have guys who are there every single week. Like Bucks weren't even on this week, except for a promo, which we'll get to. So we get the Dogs backstage, and then after that we get a Mandy Leon Madison Ray video promo for the Women of Honor Championship tournament, where they both take turns. It's shot in 2 different locations. One's in I think one is in Madison's house or some type of backstage area. I don't know. And then one's shot somewhere else, and they keep going back and forth about, I was here first. No, I was here first. And I deserve this, and I deserve this. And really looking forward to this tournament. And then we come back to commentary with Diana Perazzo on commentary. She's a great wrestler. I thought she was going to sign with NXT, but I was wrong. She's in Ring of Honor with her beau, the villain Marty Scurll, who also joins us on commentary later on for our main event. But we'll get to that soon enough. After introducing Deanna on commentary, we get Mandy Leone's entrance, and she's good. We'll talk about the match here in a second. And then we get Madison Rain's entrance, and I haven't seen Madison Rain do much since she was in TNA. Saw her do some stuff there, and then she left there. Now she's in Ring of Honor, and hopefully things will get better for her. It's really good to see women's wrestling on a Ring of Honor program, because other than the specials that they give them every now and again, where, hey, next week it's going to be an all Women of Honor show, and so they'll string together some matches that they have taped. They're never on the show. There's no girls on that show at all. There's no valets. There's nothing. Mandy Leone occasionally will show up and do a commentary or something, but it's really good to see the girls on, the women on television. However, I'm fairly confident, and I hope I'm wrong, because that's the wonderful thing about wrestling, is you want to be proven wrong. You want to be surprised and be like, whoa, I really thought they were going to go this way and they went that way. That's cool. I didn't think about that. I think this tournament is going to come down to Tenelle Dashwood, a.k.a. Emma from the WWE, who made her debut last week, I believe. No. She made her debut at the stream. There was a Honor Reigns Supreme live stream that they did on Fight TV. It wasn't really a pay-per-view, but it had some good matches in it. I didn't take any notes on it because I didn't plan on doing a pod for it, but she debuted there. Ian Riccaboni introduced her as the 16th woman in the Woman of Honor tournament. So, which was really cool. It was really nice to see Tenelle again, and I hope she does phenomenal things for this women's division in Ring of Honor and really takes it up to the next level, because honestly, man, WWE has, you can say what you want about WWE, and there are arguments to be made about who has the best wrestlers, who has the best characters, who has the best in-ring product between, New Japan and Progress and, PWG and WWE and Impact, Impact now. I keep forgetting what it's called because they keep changing it. But you can't really deny, there's not really an argument to be said for any other women's division other than the WWE's. Take it or leave it. From NXT, SmackDown, and Raw, the training at the Performance Center across the board, there is no other system, there is no other promotion that really focuses on women and really, make sure that part of their product is superior. And it is across the board. My opinion, that's what wrestling is. It's subjective, but it's just, and this match, I don't want to be mean. I'm not trying to be a dick about it or be negative, but this match was it felt like I was watching a training match. It felt like I was watching two girls who were trying to, like their coach said, all right, let me see what you got. And they didn't want to hurt each other. Things were very telegraphed. There was a lot of, I could watch, I don't want to call anybody out, but I could watch one of the girls' eyes, and you could see her actually looking at where the leg was coming from to catch the block, and it was a little stunted. And I'm not being negative. I hope it gets better. I hope they get a lot more. They don't have a lot of time. They don't have a lot of TV time. They don't have a lot of wrestling time. So hopefully that'll get better, and they'll get more time, and they'll get more matches under their belts collectively, or I don't know. I hope it gets better. It wasn't great, but it's just not used to what I'm seeing when I'm watching Charlotte and Becky Lynch and Nikki Cross and even Tenelle, which I think she's gonna give such a shot of life to this tournament, and Deonna Purrazzo is fantastic, and Kelly Klein is fantastic. They do have a lot of fantastic female wrestlers. But this match just, wasn't, it was very telegraphed and very choreographed, and it, just felt kind of like I don't know. It wasn't great, but I wish them all the best, and I hope everything works out for this tournament. Mandy goes over with her finisher, which I can't remember what they called it, but she went over. And then we get a really great promo backstage from Cody from last week, where he got beat down by the Kingdom. And after that match, and everybody's chanting for the Young Bucks to come out and help Cody out, but they don't. So Cody erupts into the backstage area and goes, "Hey, where the hell were you guys, man?" And the Bucks are like, "We just got here." And he's like, "What? You just got here? Where'd you come from? Winnipeg? Is this a Kenny thing? Look, we're done with Kenny. We don't need any more Kenny things." That's kind of ominous, saying we're done with Kenny things. That's weird. I mean, I know this whole thing with the Bullet Club breaking up is happening, but he literally came out and said we're done with Kenny things, and that that hasn't been on Being the Elite or anything else. So who knows where that's going. We don't need him. It's over. They were chanting Young Bucks, and I got my ass kicked. Look at my eye. They busted my eye. And they're like, "Dude, we're sorry. We just got here. We didn't know. We're really sorry." And Cody goes, "Look, everybody wants us to break up. It's better for everybody else if the Bullet Club breaks up. But we need to stay strong, and I need better. He gets kind of an authoritarian tone to his voice. He goes, "I need better from you guys, especially you two." And he walks off. And as he walks off, the camera kind of pans over this way, and Marty walks in with this huge fan-made art thing that obviously he grabbed from somebody in the crowd, which was really cool of him to put that on the show. And it says Marty Scurll, and it's got pictures of him and the villain, and it's all this stuff that they made on their table at home with glitter and pictures. It was really neat. And he goes, "Hey, man, check out my sign." And they're like, "Dude, this is not the time. We just got yelled at by Cody. This is not the time." He's like, "You don't like my sign?" And as the camera starts to fade out, Nick goes, "They didn't even spell your name right." And they didn't. At the bottom, his name's not even spelled right. It was really good. I liked it. So we get a Briscoes promo where they're kind of sitting on some stairs outside of an arena. I don't know if it's outside of a high school gym or whatever, but they seem to be sitting on some concrete stairs. And they say, "Hey, Motor City Machine Guns, what y'all got to understand is at this point in our career, we don't care about the well-being of our opponents. We don't care if we maim you. We don't care if we break your bones. We don't care if the audience boos us or cheers us. All we care about is making a statement." And then that was Mark saying that. And then Jay goes, or do I have that wrong? Anyways, and then Jay goes, "Yeah, make it a statement." Like Kadeem Hardison from White Men Can't Jump. It was great. And then they just go on about, "Hey, man, we're going to make a statement, and y'all just happen to be the tag team champions, and it's nothing personal, but we have to make a statement with you. We have to make a statement with you. Those are our property, and we're taking them back." Really good stuff from the Briscoes lately. I like them both being heels. It's nice. When I got into Ring of Honor, they were both faces. So it's nice to see them kind of healing up and doing some really good work. Those guys are great wrestlers. Every time I see them wrestle, I know they're taking their time with this thing because Jay's got a hurt elbow. Jay's the chicken one, right? I can't remember which one's which right now. I think Mark's the more sane one and Jay's the crazy one. But anyway, he's got an arm thing, so they're taking his in-ring stuff a little slower. But when they are in the ring together, tag team, man, they are so good. I really, really dig those guys. After that, we get Punishment Martinez to the ring with his creepy, dark-ass intro. I like Punishment Martinez. He's got a little bit of a Richard Ramirez vibe, which I think that's what they're going for. But I like him. I think he's a good big man. I think in 3 years he's going to be one of the best wrestlers in the world if he keeps it up and keeps progressing and doesn't get lazy like some guys tend to do. As Punishment's coming out, we realize that Marty Scurll has joined us on commentary. So we got Deanna for the women's match and Marty. Look at that. Look at these guys, couples doing couple things together. How wonderful. And then we get Dalton Castle, the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. They don't say heavyweight. Coming out to the ring. He looks like $1 million as usual. I'm telling you, he is too good. And this kid is going to be in the WWE, and they are going to know how to use him. They are going to use him right, and he is going to be a phenomenal star for NXT and the WWE. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. But he's doing really great things in Ring of Honor. Not that I wish him to leave now. He's doing great things in Ring of Honor, and I hope he keeps that title for a year. That'd be awesome. So we get Dalton Castle versus Punishment Martinez for the World Championship with Todd Sinclair as your referee. Really great match. I didn't think they were going to give the title to Punishment, so whenever there's a TV championship match, it's very rare that there's a title change unless you're talking about the Raw women's title, because that, for especially over the summer last year, seemed to change every other Raw. But especially Ring of Honor, they don't usually do that on TV tapings. So these guys really had to pull something out of the crowd and pull something out of, the TV audience to make it entertaining. And they did a really, really great job. Dalton comes out, and the first thing he does this thing where he holds his hand up in a fist, and then he opens his fingers individually like this till he's got his palm open, and then he slaps Punishment across the face. Punishment gets enraged and runs him into the corner. It's really cool. They both go at it for a while. Dalton's funny. Marty is complaining the whole time about, hey man, why are these guys even in the title picture? How did Dalton get a shot? How did Punishment now get a shot at the title? Why hasn't Marty got a shot at the title? I'm the former television champion. He's got some good points. Good spot of a last ride that Punishment gives Dalton on the apron outside. They're battling on the apron. He runs him into the guardrail, and then he picks him up for this last ride. And I mean, just Punishment's huge as it is, and just picks him up and just racks him down on his back on the apron. It's a really good spot. I hope everybody's okay. Marty's commentary during this entire match was unbelievable. Old school heel Randy Savage commentary, like when Randy was a wrestler, not when he retired, but when Randy was still wrestling and he would do heel commentary. That's exactly what this reminded me of. Really great stuff from Marty. God, that guy's so good. I love that guy. Both of these guys looked fantastic. Punishment looked amazing. Dalton looked amazing. Dalton looked really fired up. He's looked really good his last 3 matches that I've been able to see on TV or on pay-per-view have been really great stuff. Some of the best stuff he's been doing in a long time, and I'm sure it has to do with this run, this championship run that he's on right now. Looks great. The boys looked great. The boys got involved a little bit. Punishment gave DC this unbelievable spot where they're all on the outside kind of brawling, and Punishment rolls back into the ring while the boys and Dalton are off just past the ring post. And Punishment goes to the other side of the ring post diagonally and runs and dives and jumps over the ring post and the turnbuckles onto the boys in Dalton Castle. Let me rephrase that. He didn't jump over the rope unless they did a weird camera angle where I couldn't see it. But I swear to you, man, I watched that thing 3 times. And this dude cleared the ring post and the turnbuckle, not only height-wise, but width-wise, to come down on those guys and everybody safe. That guy is a fantastic wrestler, man. Fantastic wrestler. That was such a great spot. After that, he rolls Dalton into the ring and gives him some of the hardest kicks to the side of the head that I've ever seen anybody give. I mean, a couple of them look like legit shots, but I'm sure they weren't because he's a safe guy. But some really hard kicks to the head, and then picks him up for the Psycho Driver. Thinks he's got him kind of that almost rack thing that Lex Luger used to do, but he does it into a Psycho Driver. It's almost like an F5 kind of, or more like an AA. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, and Dalton Castle does this thing where he rolls himself over and pins up both of Martinez's legs and arms and pins him in this little package and gets the 1, 2, 3 for the win. Rolls out, and everybody goes crazy. Punishment sits up with shocked Undertaker face. Can't believe it. And Punishment rolls out of the ring and just destroys the boys. Cracks them on the apron. Destroys them utterly. Really pissed off. Bangs on the table the owner of Ring of Honor, or whoever that guy is, and Mandy Leone usually sit at. The timekeeper's table, maybe. Pounds on that. He's furious. But Dalton retains after a really good match against Punishment Martinez. And that was the end of the show. That was the end of Ring of Honor, episode 334. It was fantastic. I'm looking forward to next week. I'm sure we're going to have some great matches again. Ring of Honor, it has their Honor Club up, which is, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to log on to it today and kind of try and sign up for it if it's open. And then I'll do like a little review on Honor Club and see what's going on there. Watch some old Bryan Danielson matches. WWE's got that shit soaked into my brain, man. I'm doing my best. So anyway, that was Ring of Honor for this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you'd like to follow me, you can do so on Twitter at Calling Spots Pod, at Instagram at Calling Spots Podcast, and at Facebook at Calling Spots Podcast. You can email me at callingspotspodcast@gmail.com. All of these are in the description below. Thank you very much. This is Calling Spots with Bryan Kelly. I'm Bryan Kelly. Never be ashamed to be a pro wrestling mark. It's awesome. We love it. I'll see you guys a little bit later or tomorrow for Raw recap. See ya. Peace.